Before Black Panther or Snowfall and all the black excellence we see today, there was a film era so bold, so unapologetic, so black it changed cinema forever. I'm talking about Blaxploitation. It was loud, rebellious, and fly as hell. But how did it start and why was it so important? Today we're highlighting the rise of Blaxploitation, the genre that made black cinema what it is today. Blaxploitation is a subgenre of action movies derived from the exploitation genre in the early 70s. It helped facilitate black artists reclaiming their representation of our ethnic identity in film. The genre was coined by Junius Griffin, who was the president of the Beverly Hills Hollywood branch of the NAACP in 1972. As criticism for Hollywood's portrayal of the black community and its perpetuation of racist stereotypes of inherent criminality, Blaxploitation made its mark by presenting black characters in our communities as the protagonists and settings of the story rather than simply background moments. Once Hollywood recognized the genre's potential, they produced films like Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song and Shaft, resulting in the assimilation of Blaxploitation into mainstream cinema. Let's rewind for a second. Before the 1970s, black actors in Hollywood were either playing sidekicks, maids, or background characters in white-led films. Even with legends like Sidney Poitier breaking barriers, black audiences weren't seeing themselves raw, unfiltered, and in control on screen. Now enter the 1970s. The civil rights movement was shifting and the Black Power movement was rising. And Hollywood finally realized something. Black people were hungry for representation and not just in feel-good, family-friendly roles. We wanted the grit, the real deal action story. So what did they do? They gave us Shaft in 1971, and the game officially changed forever. This was the first official Hollywood-produced blaxploitation. Shaft kicked down the door, and behind him came a whole wave of black heroes. Superfly, Foxy Brown, Coffee, the Mac, Black Caesar, all larger than life, all taking no mess from anybody. And let's talk about the women of Blaxploitation. Pam Grier wasn't just a sex symbol. She was the badass black heroine of the 70s. Coffee and Foxy Brown weren't just pretty faces. They were out here handling business, giving us strong, fearless, revolutionary black women on screen like we'd never seen before. And Pam Grier did most of her own stunts in Coffee and Foxy Brown, so technically she was the first black female action star. There was also a lot of pushback. Others argued that Blaxploitation glorified drugs, violence, and crime. Take Superfly, for instance, one of the biggest films of the era. It was stylish, it had Curtis Mayfield's fire soundtrack, and it made black people feel cool. But at the same time, the main character was a drug dealer. Black leaders like the NAACP and even the Nation of Islam called out Hollywood for movies like these. As the decade ended, Blaxploitation started to fade. Hollywood shifted its focus and the era of black-led action flicks slowed down. But did it really die or did it just evolve? Movies like Claudine and Cooley High ended up taking the place of Blaxploitations. But let's be real, without Blaxploitation, we wouldn't have had the gangster movies of the 90s, no New Jack City, no Menace to Society, no Boys in the Hood, no Blue Hill Avenue, none of it. That same raw, unapologetic black storytelling didn't disappear. It just adapted to new times. And even today, the legacy is alive and well. From throwback-inspired films like Black Dynamite to They Clone Tyrone and The Harder They Fall, Blaxploitation is still in the DNA of black cinema. Love it or hate it, you can't deny it. Blaxploitation changed black cinema forever. It gave us our first black action stars, our first black heroines, and a sound, style, and attitude that's still influencing movies today.